Hello, this is Bruce this morning, Bruce Moore, another morning story. I hope you can see back here, I've come out into a kind of a wetland area. This is in South Louisiana. This is something that's made, but they've planted a bunch of cypress trees, as you can tell, young cypress trees, and egrets roost out here. It's a nice place. This is a morning story. I wanted to just this morning say something about why I'm telling these stories and what kind of the overall view of what this is about. I'm telling them because, you can tell I've got a little age on me, and in my life I've come to a landscape of story that's different from what we hear in contemporary story. And I've earned it the hard way, really, because I was a professor, tenured professor, using mathematics up in the higher branches, and then I became troubled by some of the weaknesses of math, went into industry for a number of years, 20 years or so, and I worked down in the roots of math then. Computer science I began with computer science in the 60s when there weren't any personal computers. People really didn't know about them, but there was one in the basement of the physics department. And so who is this for? I mean, why am I telling this? Because this is for dreamers, dwellers, and storytellers. And I'm all of those. But there are many people who are dreamers, dwellers, and storytellers, or any or all of that. So what's a dreamer? A dreamer is somebody who thinks about things a lot, dreams about things. Their imagination goes in the daytime. They're daydreamers. But they carry that into their lives, and they think about things. Dwellers, they dwell on things after they've kind of figured them out. I mean, if they learn something, I was like this in school. You learn something well enough to use it. And it's especially true in technical areas. You learn this recipe for doing something, and so you master it. You make, good grades in your courses, and you're able to use it, but you dwell on it because you just don't understand, where it came from. How is this like this? And for example, one of the things we learn in school and people take for granted now is that waves travel through empty space. And some of my friends, I was like this. You learn that, a wave traveling through empty space. You learn the mathematics, and you are forced to say, yes, it's true, in answering questions. But you think, how can that be? A wave doesn't travel through nothing. A wave is something that's interacting. So anyway, dwellers think about things long after they've learned it well enough to use it. And then there are the storytellers. After a dweller has come to some conclusion, some idea, something in their head that makes sense to them, then they are storytellers to tell about it. And, we've got lots of dreamers, dwellers, and storytellers. And I don't want my life to be wasted. So there is a kind of rigorous landscape of thought that's not told about. And, it may be, I don't know where the understanding is. It's probably in other places. But it's about driven me crazy to get to where I have this landscape of alternate thought, but I'm wanting to share it. And so it's really not, everything is easy after you know it. So I'm not saying this is easy, but it boils down to just a few things. And that's what I'm trying to go through in these videos. And I'll have a website that goes through this too, trying to get to the point where we can have conversations about it. I want to talk to people about it. I want to teach. I want to convey this storytelling, dreamers, dwellers, and storytelling framework to other people. So there's really just seeds of awareness. That's where this started, and it was a little confusing, and those seeds had to grow into something that proved fruitful before I could be sure of those seeds of awareness. But seeds of awareness, those are not technical. That's useful for family storytelling, because dreamers, dwellers, and storytellers are in families too. They try to convey those things to their children. So there's seeds of awareness, and then there's 5 missing things, from the books in physics and applied mathematics. It turns out, at least in my view, there's big dogs coming here, guys. It turns out, in my view, that there's something missing in the foundations. The foundational part of physics and applied mathematics is missing something. And I think the reason it's missing something is that if you include that missing something, then you open the door to spiritual thinking. So there's those 5 missing things, seeds of awareness, 5 missing things, and those 5 missing things enable a geometry that is different from the geometry of physics, from the geometry that we know from studying the books. So here comes the big dogs, and I'll see you later. Thanks.